In today's world, romance seems to be the ultimate goal for many people. It's all over social media, movies, and music, constantly pushing the narrative that we're incomplete without a romantic relationship. But as Muslims, we're often faced with a different reality. With direct messages, online flirting, and the constant pressure to find love, we're left questioning, is this really what we need? My dear brothers and sisters, the truth is that we don't need to look to romantic relationships to complete ourselves. In fact, Islam offers us a completely different perspective, one that's grounded in faith, self-control, and the sanctity of marriage. So why does the concept of romance seem so compelling in today's society? What are the 5 reasons why Muslims need to rethink their views on relationships outside of marriage? Let's dive into the reality of romantic relationships in Islam and why it's essential to understand the true purpose of love and companionship in our faith. Patil, the pressure of social media and DMs, a modern-day illusion. In today's world, social media has become an undeniable force that shapes how we view love and relationships. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or even dating apps, it's easy to get caught up in the illusion that happiness and fulfillment lie in romantic connections, often with strangers or acquaintances who slide into your direct messages. But what does Islam say about these modern-day temptations? The Quran warns us about the dangers of indulging in relationships outside of marriage, especially when they're based on fleeting desires or personal satisfaction. Allah says in the Quran, "And do not approach unlawful sexual intercourse. Indeed, it is ever an immorality and is evil as a way." Surah Al-Isra 17:32. Yet in today's society, it's common to see people engaging in conversations or even relationships that cross boundaries, all under the guise of harmless flirting or getting to know someone. But the reality is that these interactions are a breeding ground for temptation, misguidance, and distractions from Allah's path. We often overlook the emotional and spiritual consequences of these actions. How many times have we heard people express how empty they feel after such interactions? Relationships based solely on lust or superficial attraction don't bring true happiness. They leave you feeling empty, disconnected from Allah, and distracted from your true purpose. This pressure to engage with others online through direct messages or casual conversations takes away from the peaceful, meaningful relationships we should be striving for in Islam. Relationships rooted in faith, commitment, and the sanctity of marriage. Patil 2. The dangers of seeking love in the wrong places. In our modern society, the pressure to find love often leads people down paths that stray from the teachings of Islam. Many young Muslims, overwhelmed by the idea that they need to be in a relationship, find themselves searching for companionship in places where true love and respect are not guaranteed. Relationships outside of marriage, especially ones built on fleeting attraction or temporary emotions, only lead to spiritual harm and heartbreak. Islam teaches us that love should be pure and grounded in faith, not in the temporary pleasures of this world. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, emphasized the importance of modesty and guarding our chastity, which is a core principle of Islam. He said, "Whoever guarantees me what is between his jaws and between his legs, I will guarantee him paradise." Sahih Bukhari. This hadith reminds us that our speech and our desires must be protected to maintain our dignity and faith. Yet, today's society encourages people to seek relationships based on desires and emotions rather than respect, commitment, and shared faith. This often leads to people falling into the trap of haram relationships, causing emotional distress and distance from Allah. The reality is that when you seek love in the wrong places, you invite unnecessary drama, heartbreak, and confusion into your life. Islam teaches us that a true and meaningful relationship can only be built on the foundation of marriage, where love, respect, and faith are prioritized. Batil 3. The disconnect between identity and actions. Are we practicing what we preach? As Muslims, we often proudly carry the title of Muslim, but if we take an honest look at our actions, we might find a disconnect between our identity and how we live our lives. This is especially true when it comes to relationships. Many of us wear the label of a Muslim, but are we truly living according to the teachings of Islam, especially in the realm of relationships and romance? It's easy to get caught up in the pressures of society and forget the core principles of Islam that guide us. The influence of social media, entertainment, and peer pressure can easily sway us into believing that chasing romantic relationships outside of marriage is normal, even if we know it goes against Islamic values. In reality, many young Muslims are living in a way that contradicts the faith they claim to follow. They may spend hours on dating apps, indulge in casual conversations with people they're not married to, or even engage in relationships that go against the teachings of Islam. These actions don't just affect us spiritually. They affect our mental and emotional well-being too. Allah has given us clear guidance on how to maintain purity in our relationships, and when we deviate from these principles, we create internal conflict. The Quran reminds us of our higher purpose and the importance of remaining true to our faith, saying, "O you who have believed, do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan. Whoever follows the footsteps of Shaitan, indeed he enjoins immorality and wrong." Surah An-Naba 24:21. The reality is that many of us are Muslims by name, but our actions don't reflect the true spirit of Islam. It's important for us to pause and ask ourselves, are we truly practicing what we preach, especially in how we approach relationships? If we want to live authentically as Muslims, we need to realign ourselves with the teachings of Islam, even in our romantic pursuits. Batil 4. When your patience is your greatest test. In today's world, where instant gratification and quick fixes are the norm, patience has become one of the hardest virtues to maintain, especially when it comes to relationships. Many young Muslims, overwhelmed by the pressure to find someone or settle down, struggle with the idea of waiting. We live in an era where everything is available at the tap of a button, including potential relationships. But the reality is that the true love, the kind that Islam teaches us to seek, isn't about rushing or settling for anything less than what Allah has intended for us. Patience is not just a passive act of waiting. It is an active choice to trust in Allah's plan and timing. It's about resisting the temptation to rush into a relationship simply because others are doing it or because society tells us it's time. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ reminded us that good things come to those who wait with patience and faith. He said, Allah said, "Whoever is patient, Allah will give him patience, and no one is given a better or more abundant gift than patience." Sahih Bukhari. Many of us may feel the pressure to be in a relationship to fulfill societal expectations or even to feel loved. But remember, Islam encourages us to have patience, knowing that everything happens in Allah's perfect timing. If you're struggling with the wait, understand that this patience is a test that, when passed, leads to reward, peace, and contentment in both this world and the hereafter. In today's society, we often forget that marriage and love are not to be rushed or forced. True companionship is built on the foundation of faith, and this takes time, effort, and patience. If you're struggling to find someone or feel overwhelmed by the pressure, trust that Allah is preparing you for something greater, something that is built on sincerity, purity, and devotion, not the fleeting and often harmful relationships promoted by society. Batil 5. The true purpose of relationships, strengthening your faith. When we think about relationships, especially in the context of Islam, we should remind ourselves that the ultimate purpose is not just companionship or fulfilling desires. It's about building a bond that strengthens our faith and brings us closer to Allah. Too often, we get distracted by the idea of finding the one or rushing into romantic connections. But we forget that marriage, as prescribed in Islam, is meant to be a spiritual partnership, one where both spouses help each other grow in faith, patience, and devotion to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, "The best of you are those who are best to their wives." Sunan Ibn Majah. In Islam, marriage is a sacred contract, a partnership where both individuals help each other stay on the right path, support each other in worship, and encourage each other to grow spiritually. It's not about seeking someone to fulfill a romantic fantasy, but rather someone who will be your partner in faith, someone who helps you get closer to Allah and who you can turn to in moments of weakness or trial. Today's society encourages us to focus on the perfect relationship, the one that is filled with excitement, passion, and constant validation. But Islam reminds us that true love and fulfillment come when our relationship is grounded in something greater, our connection to Allah. Marriage is not just a means to fill a void, but a means to serve Allah together, to grow together in faith, and to work towards the hereafter as a team. If we shift our perspective and approach relationships with the understanding that they are a tool to strengthen our faith and please Allah, we will begin to see relationships in their true light, one built on mutual respect, trust, and devotion. My dear brothers and sisters, throughout this journey, we've explored the realities of romantic relationships in today's society and the pressures many Muslims face. We've learned that while society may tell us to rush, to fill our lives with distractions, or to seek temporary fulfillment, Islam offers us a different path, one that emphasizes patience, purity, and the sanctity of marriage. Allah has created us in pairs, as He says in the Quran, "And we created you in pairs." Surah An-Naba 78:8. This beautiful verse reminds us that companionship and love are part of our natural design, but they must be sought in the right way. Marriage, as a bond grounded in faith, is the way Allah intended for us to find true fulfillment and peace. The pressure to seek relationships outside of marriage or to focus on temporary desires takes us away from the deeper purpose that Allah has laid out for us. As we reflect on the pressures and distractions we face today, it's important to remember that the ultimate goal is not just to find love, but to find a love that strengthens our relationship with Allah. True love, as defined by Islam, is built on faith, trust, and mutual respect. It is a partnership that helps us grow spiritually, strengthens our bond with Allah, and prepares us for the hereafter. So if you're struggling to find someone, or if you've been feeling the weight of societal expectations, trust in Allah's plan. His timing is perfect, and He knows what is best for you. Stay patient, keep your faith strong, and remember that true love, the one that aligns with Allah's will come in due time. Let's carry this dua with us. Ya Allah, guide us to the right path and bless us with a marriage that strengthens our faith and brings us closer to you. If this message resonated with you, comment, Ya Allah, guide me to the right path. Below, your words might inspire someone else to reflect on their own journey. And remember, liking and subscribing helps us continue to share these reminders that bring us closer to Allah. May Allah bless each and every one of you with patience, peace, and a righteous companionship, inshallah. Ameen.